Today I shall be installing a Sabertooth ASUS Sabertooth Z87 motherboard, a Fikwot 512 gigabyte boot drive. Now I had all that, got some of these leftover case fans. I've got some Noctua ones too, which I'll use. I have this leftover Corsair HX, this is HX 850 watt power supply. This one, I don't know, 10, 15 years old, I believe. Maybe that's the first thing I should install into here. Got this huge Noctua NH-D15S that I'll use as the cooler. My RAM I bought for $17 on eBay. Youngshin DDR3, these are PC3 14900s CL13. These are, was it 1866 speed megahertz? Decent RAM from China. And the core CPU that I'll be using is this 4790. These are called Haswell, comparable to anything modern, but I have a couple of 4770Ks and they're more than adequate for most things. I had all these parts except for the RAM and CPU. I got the RAM for 17 bucks on eBay. I got the 4790 for $40 shipped and taxed. So about $39 or something cents taxed and shipped. First step, so I took a leaf blower to this case because this case was just sitting in my attic. It's an old-fashioned looking case without any of the RGB bling. Screw in the power supply. Yeah, it's gonna need smaller screws, looks like. Okay, we got 4 screws in, so that's good enough. The PSU is in, nice and firm. Get all this out. Next step, motherboard in. We'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll have to scrounge around for motherboard screws. Alright, I think I've got it. I'm gonna take out my electronics kit. It's a kit I rarely get to use since I bought it. It is this thing here. So let's install the CPU onto the motherboard. So this Intel Core i7 4790. There's the big triangle. Now let's get going here. LG 1150. Where's the triangle on this fucker? Triangle is right there. It was on the stupid plastic. I'll go ahead and just place it. Now, clamp it, and the plastic will pop right off. There it is. And I hook it under the thing. This is used. CPU installed. MX5. Actually, this is a new one, isn't it? Here it is, MX6. Do I install the cooler now? Not quite. So I do install the RAM. The RAM is installed in this direction and away from the CPU 2 and 4. Since I have only the 2. So this is 8 gigs. Yep, 8 gigs. Going in to 2 and 4 slots. 2 and 4. When you shove it correctly, it does it. CPU and RAM are in place. The next step is the cooler. So this Noctua D15S is nearly the equal of a water cooler. So this cooler properly install. But I forgot also to install this, don't I? No, actually, this doesn't necessarily need to be installed now. Solid state drive, 512. This is 6 gigs per second. Maybe I'll do that later. So I think installing of the cooler is the next step. There's quite an excess of thermal compound that I've added. As far as the mount, this Secu mount, can't use this. Fuck. I can't use this cooler. This is for the LG 1700. I cannot use it. I gotta go grab a shittier cooler. There's a very good chance I may not be able to proceed with this installation. This may be the only cooler that can fit in this system. Unfortunately, it is it's gonna be quite a hack to get it in maybe. I don't know that tiny little heat sink is gonna suck. It's not going to provide adequate cooling. Of course, I don't intend to use it hard. In the absence of doing anything too demanding, there's a chance this little cooler might be adequate, but it is a underpowered cooler. It's not a bad cooler, underpowered for this system. Not sure. Fuck. Make sure the screw holes are properly placed. Quite much more of a thrash than I hoped it to be. Pain in the ass this shroud is. What else is holding this down? Damn it. 1, 2. This is held down 2 places. Here it is. That shouldn't affect anything. 2. Right there. The fucking hidden screw. The fuck are we gonna get that off? Maybe I can make the screw come out. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm gonna get this fucking shroud off. Let's take this all off now. There's the fucking screw that was stuck in there. And this piece of shit plastic. Get the fuck off. Fucking sucks. This is the critical fan right here. These little things aren't gonna hold it. Zip tie city. Fuck. Let's remember these are fragile 15-year-old parts with lots of metal fatigue potentials. So I have to not do too much yanking and pulling and over tightening. Just enough to prevent rattle like that. So it's zip tied. The CPU is down. It has a cooler on it, not a great cooler, but no, that's it. Heat sink, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to lose it. So that is that bare motherboard with all the fanciness shit it out of it. So now I can mount the motherboard. It's being mounted at the cardinal corners to begin with. Aren't gonna mount. Some of these are stripped. Like that one's perfect. Oh, there's one. There it is, nice and solid. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice and solid, it's pretty good. Ah, yes, nice and solid. So we got 9 motherboard screws in, perfect. Got no GPU, but this has an iGPU on it. Got the RAM in, cooler installed. Let's insert some of these plugs now. All the components of a computer in place. CPU cooler, cooler fan, RAM. I just plugged in the front header power. Got the PSU. I will route the giant PSU and CPU cords so that it's out of the way, like so. So the CPU just requires one of these to use as CPU power, the motherboard power. Power for a CPU specifically. So the front header business. So the motherboard power has to come out through the back here to this slot here. Quite fiddly because it may not come through otherwise. There it is. That's that. And then this thing just needs to come out like that. So that's about it. That routes the power shitters into the right place. So the next step is to insert the CPU power adequately. Okay, CPU power is plugged in. Now the motherboard power overall is now plugged in. I can do all these fiddly front header shit. So this is all in one piece. So these are, it's just a matter of screwing in this Arctic fan. First loosely and then firmly. So that will act as an outlet fan. Now we want upward flow fans. I may have to work on this one first, looks like. There we go, way to get this front off. Okay, so if it's riveted in, then we're fucked. So we're done with that. Unless I want to do some major destruction to it. We're gonna need 2 small fans to blow upwards. So the best I can do are these 2 Corsair fans and the shuriken fan for the bottom. So I'll first install the big shuriken fan on the bottom. It's going upwards. There goes the big shuriken fan at the bottom, plugged in, nice. Now the Corsair fans also going upwards, up and out. The top fans, so here's one at least. That'll work with the motherboard fan. So these will be installed like so. Actually, there's a fan header right there, poking out and hiding underneath that. Fortunately, we have motherboard Fan headers adequate. I have to pull out the CPU power. Yep, it looks like I'll have to pull out the CPU power. Maybe I can grab this thing, insert it from the top like this by getting enough leverage on it. There it is. It's in. Got enough leverage on it. So now it's just a matter of my other fan from the top. All right, so I got the fan flow. That one's up, this one is up, this one is out, this one is down. Now it's just zip tying and do the software. Good enough, I think. So I got plenty of room for the GPU here. Maybe ready to test it. Oh yeah, I need to address the front fans here. Is there a way to access it? This whole cage is riveted. Let's see what we have here. Are these knockoutable? Yeah, that is a Blu-ray drive in the front. And it does separate, at least. Comes right off. And looks like that. As you can see there, these have never been replaced. No, they don't have full screws in them. Just barely hanging on. So kind of a... Yeah, so these are the fans. They're held in place by these weird little clamps. So these are powered by, if I wanted to put in, yeah, you see here, the 14s don't fit. Yeah, I may have no choice but to just use those Altas. Just have to live with those fans, that's fine. So to wipe them off. It's a very weak fan edge, but it could be used still, and shall be. So they've at least gotten a semi-wipe down, at least. It was like that. And this was the middle section. And just hooked in like that. There it is. And this one is hooked in like that. There it is. It's more than adequate now. It's clean. Yeah, it's solid again. Okay. I have to reattach the fans to the shitters, don't I? Just get these grabbers on there. There. Take this up in here. There. So, I think we're done here. I'm gonna put the back on. Hopefully, this starts up. Of course, it may not to work. It may not work at all. So it's a lot of time wasted if it is a non-working system. This on. So what we have left is to test the power before hooking it up to a monitor and testing the capability of installing an operating system. This is the moment of truth. I'm gonna push the power button. Motherboard powers. Okay. So I will take that for now. Here it is. And we will see. We've got the whole thing set up like so. Let me see if I can do it like that so you can to see if it's working or not, right? The CR2032, yes, I should. Who knows how these batteries last so long, but they are indeed the Japan 2032. This is an Energizer 2032 going in Boom. So now I'm plugging everything back in. Monitor, PSU. There's a button right there on the motherboard I'm going to press. Possibly not starting up. Bad news. We're having some bad news here. Okay, beefier. Power line going in. I suspect we may be out of luck here. It's all for naught. It appears to have all been for naught. There it goes. I pushed the BIOS button. And it's going. There it goes. The lights are on. Do you see this? The fans are running, but not the front fans. Something's hesitant. Something is balking. There's a balking going on. Something is hesitating. So something doesn't like something. Is there a hang up in the fan? Doesn't look like it. Could it be RAM not working, or what could it be? Could it be RAM not seated properly? The RAM's not happy. Something's happening. This fucking monitor is wasting my time. I'll plug into this monitor instead. Let's try turning it off and turning it on again. One more try. No signals. Is the iGPU dead? iGPU could be dead. It doesn't work. It's pretty quiet. Let's try a different port. No signal. What we're gonna have to do is probably put in a GPU and see if that powers a monitor. I'm gonna try that now. Shot in the dark. Problem is, there's gonna be no driver for this in here, so how could it possibly work? It's not going to, is it? There's no driver for it. That's not the fix. So I realize that this is not the fix for the problem. And yet, if you don't keep digging, who knows? Okay, now this is the GPU. What could it possibly do? It's not outputting. No signal. Anyway, I'm going to shut this down. It's not working. Need to mull this over. Spend too much time on this. These may be defunct components. Are sure what is wrong with this computer. First thing one of the problems I had with this build was that I had to resort to this shitty, the Big Shuriken 2, which at the time was considered one of the better coolers, but suboptimal. Never did a great job. Radeon Sapphire 15, RX, or was it R580 GPU. Actually, the GPU I used with this system was the NVIDIA GTX 770. I am using that one but this one of the better Radeon GPUs. One of the issues with these computers were that these are the USBs right here. Very fiddly connectors here. Connectors are very fiddly always. SATA connectors. Primary motherboard power plug.
CPU power. You can be sure that some of these aren't the problem. Definitely could be the problem. So I shall unscrew out the motherboard. I wonder how much of the problem is an electrical short problem, or is it a component problem from RAM, CPU, who knows. Say the motherboard is unlikely to be the problem, but the hole is slipped. And it's time, this computer was considered a decent motherboard. It's not holding this cooler against the CPU firmly. Fiddly to get off because the thermal paste was a mess. Until 11:51. Why did I think it was rejected? The NHD15S math. I did get this. Like so. This, what they call Secu-firm, should fit nicely, just like that. Needs to be attached like that. These standoffs or not. Mine is 1150. The answer is yes. I do need the stanchions. I do need it. Boom, 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 boom. This is the ideal position. It says I could go in either direction. First, let's make sure the RAM is affixed firmly. Upwards actually is a better position. Airflow in this direction is a superior direction because if you can make it work, that is. That's the natural flow of heat. Fix. Final tighten. I shall use my hands. Firm, but not overly tight. Just to not crack the plastic, basically. Totally covers the RAM, but I am going to say the RAM is firm. Thermal paste time, latest and greatest. Pattern 9. These are oriented correctly now. Blowing blow upwards. Final affixing, mashing of the thermal paste. Should have mashed to couple the fans. This fan blowing this way, this fan is blowing upwards. The engineering on these are so great that it's firmly attached. Orientation is wrong. Okay, now try it again. There, now it's perfect. These two fans have to be coupled. Noctua shit. These are shitters. Low noise things are shitters. This is the coupler. Couples these two fans into the CPU inlet right there. Before I mount this into the motherboard, I need to tie these down and out of the way. So the Noctua D15S is mounted securely and the CPU is firm. More difficult to get it in. It is extremely bulky now, as you can see. So to maneuver, bastard in. These are much easier to put in now than later. Very fiddly to get in once I've screwed the motherboard in completely. Try to maneuver them in now. Extremely fiddly. And that's in. The rear fan is in. Alt fan is in. CPU fan is in. Yeah, the hard one is that CPU power. Very easy to damage. It's torn or shredded or something. It might be worth trying another power cable. I hope it's not damaged. Try not to poke on it with sharp steel implements here. I've guided into its 8 holes gently. And here we go. There. I think I heard it clip in. Good condition. It has to be full contact all around. I believe that'll do it. Screw in the motherboard screws very carefully. Motherboard into position. First screw going in. First screw solid. Second screw. Yeah, that one was stripped. Maybe safer just to keep it out so that it doesn't get bogged. Okay, second screw in the middle is in, nice and firm. Now it's relatively firm. Top screw. Oh, that's nice and firm. That's good. It's a bit too long. I will need a long screwdriver. Partially stripped screwdriver, but it's in relatively firm. Okay, that's nice and firm. I'm happy with that one. I see a problem. I'm not going to be able to access. I'm not going to be able to access that center one. Okay, that's nice and firm, at least. That center one, I'm going to have to take the fan off. Okay, pain in the ass. Nice and firm. And now, put the fan back. Okay. Firmly attached at 8 attachment points. 9th one is stripped. EH50 is in. I'm going to plug in the motherboard power now. Even pressure from nice click. Nice click. SATA ports are in. 3 is in. This thing is snapped, so that's not going to beep while I'm here. I should short the BIOS pins. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to short the BIOS pins. Screwdriver, I'm going to short the BIOS pins. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. The BIOS should have been shorted. I think we're in good shape to try it now. Anything else to do? Thing is firm. And there's the big shuriken fan right there. It's going up. It's going up. The front ones are coming in, but they may not be blowing. So this one needs to be coming in too. So this is reversed. There's coming in this way. There hopefully is coming in a little bit this way, giving it a positive pressure, and it goes upwards and out. the heat, good airflow direction. Now I shall put in GPU back. Just barely fits. I am going to have to use a different GPU port than the main one before I use this one. Major problem, the upward flow issue. I should have had it go that way. Now that I see that problem, given the low nature of this, the fact that this is not a super high tech GPU, I'm going to gamble that I don't lose too much. It's not like I'm going to game on it either, so more for better video. I should gamble that this is adequate. GPU speeds. I may have to remount the cooler if it isn't. It causes problems. I have to remount the GPU cooler. There's that. Maybe ready to try it now. Moving into the main. Hope it's a data cable. HDMI to the motherboard. I'll attach it to. Okay, it's attached. A working mouse. Flipped on. Moment of truth. Green light is on. It's going. GPU is lighting. Oh, it's doing that shit. Oh, it's doing that. Statutory. Something is not happy. Something is not good. So, as suspected, we are fucked. I'm gonna have to first. This fan cable coming through. And these can be. Try starting once more. Fans are running. The top of this one is running. Makes it start and stop. As I did last time. The thing is fucked about the setup. Why is it fucked is the question. Why is it fucked? Posted. That's my system. Enough fans are running. Would you look at that? Would you look at that post? Now I shall go to the main board. Today I'm going to try to see if I can install RAM into here and see if it posts. Today I received 16 gigabytes. I shall now install into here. I won't be able to see it. Catch a glimpse. Maybe not. But these RAM have no heatsink to them at all. These are just super fast. I got put into slots 2 and 4. The only good thing about these are they should be slim profile. How much here? The good thing is that the surety of placing it. These are OENMI made in China, 8 gigabytes, PC3 DDR3, 14900, so that's 1866 megahertz, fastest of speeds. They should work, or they hope. No, I shouldn't say that. It should be adequate if it works. I heard solid clicks there. They are mounted. Flip this to positive. Monitor is the giant TV, HDMI. There's the source button. Let's see if it works. I'm going to go to wide angle. Push this button to test all systems. The RAM allows startup without stopping this far. I end up having to push memory, a direct keyboard connection. Yeah, this time press delete. Let's try to turn this off. See if it posts. Let's try it again. Try put up in here. Nothing happening. Next, try ASUS monitor to this one. Nothing happening. Happening over there. Try no posting activity happening that I can see. Could be a dead computer. So today is Friday, 26th of September. I just updated my LG TV. Here's my computer with a Sabertooth Z87. Haswell 1150 motherboard from, 12, 13, 14 years ago. It wouldn't post. I correctly uploaded through FAT32 USB 2 disk right there. Plugged it into the flash BIOS slot. Pushed BIOS flash button for 3 seconds. Started flashing. I think it's hopeful. It's hopeful that it might post now. It might post, so I'm gonna make sure HDMI 2. And I'm going to turn on the computer and repeatedly press delete, which is the BIOS break-in for ASUS. Let's try it. So I'll be doing this while I look at this screen. Hope for the best. See what happens. Will it post? Oh, it does. Thank you. Thank you at last. Operating system, not pound, but right here. I have the Windows LTSC21, Windows 10, insert, and enter. Will it work? Press any key to restart. Unauthorized changes firmware. Go to BIOS setup. Okay, we are in BIOS. Thank you. I know that what I need to do, attach a mouse, directly wired mouse. Okay, I'm being very, very careful because what happened last time, I know that the only 2 things I need to do for Windows 10 LTSC IoT is here in the CSM. I have to disable this. In secure boot, I need to make sure this right here is UEFI mode. And I know that those are the only 2 things I need to do. So I'm going to get back to main page. It's the i4790, as you can see. I'm going to keep everything auto. I know that I can change this later once the install goes well. So I'm going to hope for the best at this point. I'm going to do F10, save and exit. Here it is, save and exit. Let's see if it boots. I've got the Windows 10 LTSC. Let's see if it installs. I'm not pushing delete this time. Okay, after about 10 more seconds, I'm going to give up hope. Okay, hope is lost. There's something about the LTSC that is not taking. Installation is now proceeding. What I needed to do was, unlike directions given to me by GroK and elsewhere, I had to put the Sabertooth Z in CSM mode, enabled, not disabled, enabled. And I had to set all the boot devices to UEFI, all the boot devices. I had to disable fast boot to do that. After that, pulled out the BIOS disk, put in the Windows 2021 LTSC IoT disk, F10 save exit, and wait, and it booted into the installation setup. I put in the generic key for Windows 10 2021 LTSC IoT, and it is appearing to set up now, as you can see. And so I'm gonna hope for the best from here. 1:30 p.m. October 3, 2025, and I am on my way in the basement to attempt to set up Bluetooth dongle I just received from eBay. This is a used one, fairly reliable. I'm also gonna try to set up this Cable Matters Realtek. Sure if it's gonna work out of the box, just plugged in like this, but let me show you my setup. This is my new basement computer. Inside is my Noctua D15S cooler, the GTX 770 GPU, Sabertooth Z87 motherboard with a Intel, was it i7 or i9? Either one.
4790 CPU. I'm operating my Game Ball mouse on it, directly plugged in along with this Keychron K something keyboard. I've just plugged in the Cable Matters dongle for Ethernet. I'm not sure if it's going to work out of the box because I didn't install the driver for that yet. Here's the Bluetooth dongle. This motherboard surprisingly did not come with Bluetooth. This motherboard from what, 2013 or something like that, did not come with Bluetooth, but hopefully that dongle will allow Windows to auto-recognize. Finally got this computer working with the Sabertooth motherboard, which I thought was bricked when I BIOS updated it. As it turns out, unlike the instructions given to me by GroK and DeepSeek, on the BIOS main screen, what you have to do is actually toggle CSM, compatibility mode, on. You have to enable it. And from within the CSM, at least on the Sabertooth motherboard, you have to toggle on and off all the UEFI Windows maneuvers within the CSM. So you have to enable CSM, not disable it. Otherwise, this BIOS acts like it's bricked and it doesn't post. As soon as I did that, it posted right away. And then I enabled XMP profile on the RAM. When I turn on this thing, as you shall see, it boots right up. So I went on to Chris Titus Windows utility, downloaded Brave browser, MPCHC, all the utilities and programs I like to put on it. Demanded I put in a password. It would not allow me to just break in directly, but as you can see, it works. Now the key is, will it let me access the internet? Let's see if it does. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see it better. I'm going to, internet is enabled with that new dongle I put on there. It appears to be. If I can do speed test. Windows, not power saving. Let's just try that one. Okay, so I think I got this working.
It's the water level because it uses some sort of weird plastic tube in order to do that. I'm looking at you with this.
So hopefully this will get it to 2.5 Gs. New version, 2025, 2023.
Basically like guerrilla warfare. How thousands of overworked, underpaid humans train Google's AI to seem smart. So it looks like it looks at an AI response, and then the people look at it and it's like, this is terrible. Should fix it. This is a common theme that occurs. A lot of programming AI tools that generate bad code.
Okay, driver date 8/7/2025. Will it work? No, I fucked it. I fucked it up by installing what cannot be installed. Let me go to the direct connection now. Yep, now I'm back to connected. So that's that. So that's the solution. The 2.5 dongle Ethernet does not work, but the Bluetooth, I did get it working with that little Bluetooth dongle. So that computer I'm going to declare complete as is. As my new basement computer, my secondary basement computer. So after some pain, I got it connected. What I did was I put the Bluetooth dongle up front here so that the distance is shortened. But the big thing that got it connected was that I downloaded the manual for this because I forgot all about how to operate it. It is not Windows Q, it is function Q, and you hold it for 3 to 5 seconds and it rapidly blinks. And then on the Bluetooth add, it immediately added it. And now I can now demonstrate. So keyboard works, Bluetooth mouse works, and I can type in text, type in keyboard from this desk, from this distance. That's all I needed to do. I'm happy, so I'm gonna sign off, turn off the TV, turn off the keyboard, turn off the mouse, and we are done for today.